everyone, welcome to the Charlene show, which discusses taboos, social, cultural, religious, lifestyle and human interest stories. Today we're going to be talking about mental health, and I'm joined by Rutendo Rubingo, who is going to share with us her personal experience regarding mental health. We know that mental health is a topical issue because we have found that in most probably in Zimbabwe and yes around the world, people with mental health are regarded as people who are insane. But if you have got, does mental health only come across as somebody who is insane, or it comes across as someone who is crying out for help? Rutendo is going to help us discuss this and find out more. Rutendo, how are you?
And how are you, Charlene?
I'm well, Rutendo. Can you please introduce yourself? Blow your own horn.
Okay, thank you, Charlene, and thank you for the opportunity. Like you've already said, I'm Rutendo Rubingo, a financial administrator, a certified life coach who focuses on personal development and mental wellness. I'm also an upcoming author. Okay. I'm also an upcoming author, and I could say a lot about myself, but I'll end here for now.
Okay, thank you, Rutendo. So I think let's just get right into it. What is mental health?
Okay. In my own terms, I'll put it as the ability to function well in society or to function in any aspect of your life whereby you are able to communicate well with others, to understand others around you, to function well in society. There are many times whereby you find people are unable to relate to issues and situations around them. Their minds are unable to coordinate and understand what's happening around them. So mental health basically is a state whereby we can say you are functioning normally in all aspects of your life.
Okay, so you shared with me that you had an experience regarding mental health. Can you share it with us?
Okay, so basically I'm a happy person, adventurous, humorous, outgoing, and I do a lot of programs with a lot of people. I'm always energetic and ready to do a lot of things. Around this time, it was 2019, I felt disengaged from things around me. I no longer enjoyed going out. I no longer enjoyed doing much activity. I remember I used to spend most of my time sleeping. So I'd wake up early in the morning, you just do your chores in the house, and then when you're done, I wouldn't even enjoy watching a movie like I would normally do. I had just left college, so I was waiting maybe for an opportunity for work. So I would spend the entire day sleeping. It came to a level whereby I would wake up, you sleep at 8 a.m., you wake up around 10, you're like, it's still 10, let me sleep. Then you wake up around 1, it's still 1. I'll only wake up around 4 whereby I can cook food for the family. And it became a continuous cycle, a routine. And it became worrisome to me because I no longer enjoyed the things that I used to enjoy. And as a person who knew things around mental issues, I was in shock to say, I'm becoming one of them. Like you've already mentioned, this is something that many people don't relate to, especially in our African culture. When we talk about mental health, we think about those who are in the psychiatric unit. We don't think it can happen to anyone, or it can be a situation that you face as a normal individual. So I'm saying I'm normal. I know what this is. What's happening to me? Am I joining that group? So already we are referring to it as that group. So I didn't want to be associated with that. So I was like, maybe it's because I don't have anything to do. But like I'm saying, it was a continuous cycle, and I felt so detached. And I felt like I lost my sense of purpose. I could not recognize myself. I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't excited for a new day. I wasn't excited to talk to people. And the worst thing was that when my parents came home, or when we went to church or other social activities, I had to pretend that I am excited about what's happening around me so that no one would ask me questions. So I'll pretend to be happy. I'll talk to them. And then it came to a point whereby I could not take it anymore. And I started engaging in disorders like eating disorders. Either I eat a lot or I don't eat at all. Just to numb the feeling of uselessness. So I felt useless. Then at this point, I remember talking to my sister and saying, something is wrong with me, but I don't know what. I need someone to talk to. So she is my best friend. She said, you can always talk to me anytime. And I told her, I can't talk to you. So you can talk to our parents. I love my parents. They are very supportive, and we are like best friends as well. But I said I can't talk to them as well. So I called a family meeting. I need help, but I can't talk to you. I need to talk to someone, yeah, professional or anything. They're like, what's happening to you? Tangarini, you know, those our Shona parents, like, why would you need an outsider when you're here? When you're ready, so that was the response. Then I engaged my cousin who is a psychologist and said, I need to talk to someone. She's like, you can talk to me. I'm a professional already. I need someone, not you. Then she got me a friend of hers who is a therapist. Then I started the journey to talk about my issues because I didn't know how to express them. They would ask what's wrong. I didn't know how to answer. But this specialist, because she's trained for it, she knew how to ask the questions. And when I started opening up, I started my journey to healing. And now, a year later in 2020, I find myself becoming certified as a life coach. I'm now the one talking to people. I'm now the one advocating for mental health because I know how it is. And I would say this little story of mine is about going through depression when you lose sense of what's happening around you and you're no longer interested in what's happening around you. Maybe I would say it was because of not getting a job or anything. But I feel that when sometimes you just find yourself in a place whereby you are lost and it's just a cry for help, like you're saying, that I would say mental health is an illness like a physical disease which we need to take seriously. And when you see someone detaching from a happy child or a happy person, they're detaching from the situations around them, look into it and find out what's happening, because slowly they're drifting away, and sometimes it's too late. Then we talk about suicide.
Oh wow! And you are very fortunate to have found somebody to talk to,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And yes, our African culture, you know, in our African culture, somebody once told me that do we have a depression? Is there a Shona word for depression? And like, no, in our culture hakuna chinhu chinonzi depression, you know.
Yeah.
So this is how we actually sideline people who are going through mental health challenges, because we say in Shona there is no depression, so it's a European disease, you know. And then at the end of the day, when somebody has committed suicide, now we start asking questions. That's how it's been like. So what is a mental health stigma to you?
So we are saying that we associate mental health with someone who has to go to the psychiatric unit, they are bound in chains, or they are taking medication. We don't see it as a real thing. Some others will tell you that probably it's a spiritual thing. In Shona they will say, "Mwewe madzinza, wakushanyira." Because why are you behaving in this kind of way? We find people having anxiety disorders. They can't really function around others. They are becoming worried and stressed, and they don't know how to express it, and they are behaving in a funny way. That's how we stigmatize the issue. And speaking of depression, and in my case, I want to talk to my parents, but I'm saying I cannot. And there's like, Saga, who knows you better than us that you think you can talk to and can help you? When you're ready, you're going to come. But I'm already crying for help and saying, I need someone. But they're like, you'll figure it out. Maybe you're just having a bad day or something. There's at the back of our minds, we don't want to believe it's happening to us. We feel like it's the black people, we are strong people. We've gone through a lot. Maybe some of our parents have gone through war and they have survived. They didn't get those issues. So why now? Maybe some would say too many movies. Now you're associating with what's happening in the movies and you're prescribing yourself that you have such a condition. So yeah, I would say as in a black society and in our Zimbabwe, and as I was looking around, we don't even have mental health hubs whereby you can go for a time out, a rehab, to talk through things, to work through your issues. And when you Google, you discover that those places are all outside the country, European countries, American countries, not anywhere in Africa because we don't think it's a reality.
Well, I think we are probably slowly getting there. Slowly getting there. Yes, because the number of suicides is just being alarming, and all because of people going through mental health issues. And I'm sure as we keep speaking out, talking about it, we are going to have those hubs. Yes. So, is it possible to prevent mental health problems? Is it possible?
I would like to think it is. It's more about when you know yourself, when you take yourself through a self-awareness journey, you understand yourself. When I'm feeling this way, I'm happy. When I'm behaving this way, I'm happy. When I'm having this kind of feeling, something is wrong, I'm sad. I need to check what's happening with me. So when you're in constant check with yourself, aware of your surrounding, they would call it mindfulness, whereby you understand yourself and what you're going through from time to time. And we can ask you, how are you feeling? Probably have a tendency of saying, when you ask you, how are you feeling? The automatic answer is, I'm okay, I'm fine. But it's allowed to say, I'm not feeling too good today. That way you are aware of what's happening to you. And that way you can track to see, am I functioning really well? Or there's something wrong that needs attention. So when you get hold of yourself and you understand yourself better, I really feel some of those things can be avoided because you become open to talking about it. Today I'm sad, this happened, then you get a solution, than to harbor the feeling or to tell yourself, I'm strong, I'll go through this. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel.
Oh yes, and you mentioned issues to do with our culture as Black people. Being one of the reasons why it's so difficult for people out there to get help when they are going through mental health issues.
Yes.
Are there other reasons why people struggle to get help?
I would say it's embarrassing. It's not supposed to be embarrassing, but it is. So if we're a highly functional person in society, we know you as a leader, we know you as a role model, we look up to you, and you struggle. You don't want the people around you to know that you also struggle. You want to maintain that perfect person vision, and you avoid dealing with the struggles because you want to maintain that picture. You don't want people to know that you also struggle too. You want to be seen as the perfect one, so you're embarrassed to share that I'm going through this. Maybe the other reasons why you would struggle in sharing is because some of the things that people do when they are going through those things are not things that are acceptable in society. We find many engaging in self-destructing behaviors. Others would resort to alcohol. Others would resort to drugs. Some, I've just realized, some resort to pornography, reading erotic books to numb the feeling. So to come and tell my mom that I'm going through something and to do, I'm watching pornography. So you would rather keep it to yourself and hope you figure it out. So there's that no open relationship to say, even if I'm doing something that I feel is embarrassing, I won't be shamed for it.
You knew that you were unwell.
Yes.
But I don't think that everyone has that privilege.
Yeah.
How do I know that I'm unwell? Because I mean, for lack of a better term, we are probably just moving graves. Right? We think we are okay, but in actual fact, we are not. How do I know that I'm not well?
Okay. So I'll just go back to what I was talking about, self-awareness. I know this is not something very common to people, but I think it's something that you should be looking into. Am I aware of myself? Unfortunately, because we just move with the flow, I just wake up, I go do whatever. You don't get time to sit down and check on yourself. Charlene, are you okay today? Rutendo, are you okay? You just go through life. Maniru, let me just take a nap. We'll see you tomorrow. You don't take time to reflect, to see if you're okay and well. So if you don't take time to check on yourself, I know we take time to check on our friends or relatives, and we're also often asking, how are you? And I would recommend that you start by loving yourself enough to check on yourself every day to say, how are you? Like, how are you really today? and be able to answer yourself honestly to say, I am not okay because of this. I am angry because someone said this. I'm sad because this is happening. Maybe I'm sad because Ukraine is going through a crisis. Could be something that has made you sad. Because there's a lot of things that are happening around us. Trouble is always knocking at our doorsteps without us asking. There's a lot of negativity around that will affect you without even knowing. So that time you check on yourself to say, am I okay? How am I? Will help you to identify that moment when you are not okay.
Our busy schedules,
Yes.
it's like you just wake up, you have a routine.
Yeah.
Your alarm sounds at 9, at 5 a.m. You wake up, you take a bath, have breakfast, go to work. I mean, our schedules are so busy. They are so busy. At what point within such a busy schedule should one give time to check on themselves? I mean, because our schedules are so busy that we are just living. It's routine.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I would say don't be too busy for yourself. You can't be busy running another person's business. I always say mind your own business, in the sense that not to say don't be involved in other people's issues, but just like you are waking up early to be the best employee at work, you're showing up for another person's business. Show up for yourself. If you don't show up for yourself and say you're busy doing another person's business, then you're losing yourself in the process. So whatever it takes, no matter how busy you are, I would say show up for yourself daily.
And in Zimbabwe now, we mentioned that we are slowly getting there.
Yes.
Yes. But currently, are there places here in Zimbabwe where one can go to if they feel that there's something wrong with you? Maybe you can't tell your family. They'll just laugh and say there's nothing like that. So who can you go to? Like, you had the privilege of having a cousin who was a psychologist who referred you to her friend. I may not have such a privilege. So who do I go to? And also, let's also look at the aspect of finances. Not all of us are on medical aid. Not all of us can afford to go and see professionals. Do we have free places where one can go to if they feel that there's something wrong and they need help?
Okay. On that one, I'm guilty for not doing due diligence. But I would like to believe there are places, from my research, there are really places that you can go to. Besides the money issue, I think what you can do if you find a place that offers counseling service is to share your story. I need help, but I cannot afford it. Can I have someone? I'm sure there are many counselors who take pro bono issues, and there are a lot of people you can talk to. I know of ICMF, that's International Coaching and Mentoring Foundation. There are a lot of counselors and coaches there that are available for free. Yes, of course some they charge, but there are many available for free. For example, at the moment they are running a mentoring program for young people, which is for free. It's just a matter of registering. Just that we are afraid from a distance. We just don't want to look. I would have done better if I'd come with a list of places, but I would like to encourage you, because I know they are there. It's just a matter of saying counseling places in Zimbabwe, and they are popping up a lot. I think it's because of the many issues that rose during the COVID era that has brought this subject to light more than it was before, and we have those places. The likes of Musasa, I know Musasa offers counseling for free.
Okay, so Rutendo is going to share with us the list of places that you can go if you need help, if you feel that there is something that is wrong with you, if there's something wrong. Just check under the video, check in the chat box, and you will see the list of places and the contacts where you can go to if you need help. Thank you so much, Rutendo, for that. So, is it possible that I may be getting help but it's not working? Could that be a possibility?
Yeah, that's very possible. It's also about finding the perfect fit for you. It's not about
Okay.
talking to just everyone and everyone. You need to see if they understand where you're coming from. I could be a counselor, just in general, I can do counseling, but am I able to relate to you? Am I moving with your pace? Because there's a tendency, some are slow breeders, they take time to open up. So if you feel rushed, you feel, I think this is not the right person, because you may do the exercises, but if you're not in sync with the one you're talking to, you definitely lose interest. And they're giving me too much homework, they're not listening to me. So I know it's very difficult to open up to a lot of people, but if it means you get the right help, then should make sure that you find the correct fit for you.
Okay, so not every counselor is fit for me.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that. Thank you so much for the information. Wow, so this is Rutendo, and she's just shared with us a personal experience regarding mental health, and she's shared a lot of information regarding mental health. So, Rutendo, what advice do you have to give people out there regarding mental health?
I would say mental health is a reality. So let's take it seriously. And it affects everyone. Everyone from the young children from as young as 3, as they start interacting with the world. So firstly, mental health is a reality. So if you feel you're not managing well your stress levels, you're not in charge of yourself, you can't feel yourself, you're now walking like a zombie, don't recognize yourself around things, you should know something is wrong and seek help. I know it's difficult, sometimes there's a lot of stigma around it, but show up for yourself. You deserve it. Show up for yourself. If you don't show up for yourself, no one else will. And it's okay to be feeling a certain type of way. If you will find help and you feel better eventually. Don't be ashamed that you are feeling a certain type of way. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Thank you so much, Rutendo, for sharing with us on such a powerful topic, which is making headlines all over the world. You know, mental health needs to be taken seriously, especially now that suicide rates are high. Almost every day when you go on the internet, somebody has committed suicide, and I've discovered that it's mostly young people, yes, committing suicide. So I guess this is like a story for another day, like what is really going on with young people. Yeah. So that was Rutendo Rubingo sharing with us on the subject of mental health. Don't forget to check on in the chat box. We've got names and contacts of institutions where you can go to if you need help. Mental health is not about being institutionalized, but you can actually walk around and carry on with your day-to-day life whilst you are not well. It is time for you to ask yourself how you are feeling, take time to yourself and discover yourself so that you can actually catch whether you have got an issue or not well in time. We do not want suicides. This is the Charlene Show. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.